Welcome back to the FGD. We have Angus Shaw bowling at the moment. Taradale Premier's 114 for 5 in the 19th over. There's a big shot out to Clarkson, well fielded. 1 run. They've been lucky to get through these overs. Rained earlier on, and but it looks like we'll get a full game in now. Weather's settled down quite well. There's a drive through the covers for 4. Beautiful shot, over pitched by Angus, and that's 4 runs. Score moves on to 119 for 5 off 19.3 overs. Stephen Phillips on 29 and Nahal Shalar on is a catch taken by Clarkson. 3.3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 17. Earlier in the day we had the 2 games of junior cricket and then the junior prize giving and the cap presentation went off really well considering the weather conditions. Really pleasing to see so many young cricketers out and enjoying their cricket. So 2 balls left in this innings. Well bowled Shaw. Played straight back to the bowler. And he comes again. Over pitched. Lucky to get away with that one. And that's the end of the innings, and so Central will be chasing 121 to win. The ground in excellent condition as always, and a good sprinkling of spectators who've come along with the kids for the junior cricket and also to enjoy the Premier game. Central about to resume their innings. We have openers Jack Boyle, the Canterbury boy. Just not too sure who the other opener is yet with all the helmets and regalia on. And it hasn't come up on my Crick HQ. It's a very pleasant afternoon here now after being fairly grotty earlier in the day. And without a doubt we should get a full game in. Central Hawke's Bay chasing 121 to win. Whilst it might seem a modest total, as I said before, the wicket appears to be probably a little bit variable on bounce, with Taradale only losing 6 wickets but only managing to get through to 120. Opening the attack from the eastern end of the ground, bowling towards the clubhouse end, the golf clubhouse end that is. Certainly opening with not out and out pace. We could have spin. Taradale opting for spin bowling to open the innings. That one short onto the back foot and just played out into short mid-on. Comes in now, drive on the offside, not connecting, and it just shows the variability of the bounce. Not really coming onto the bat at this stage. A bit better, still no run. Played out into the covers. Oh, and it is Angus Shaw on strike. That's a good shot. Just forward a point through to the cover boundary for 4. To get Angus off the mark. Callum Hewittson's the bowler. Angus was just able to lean back on that one and hit it forward a point for 4. Back with Hewitson now. Coming in right arm over. Similar shot, but this time straight to cover. Into the covers again. More to end of the first over. Central 4 without loss. Still a good sprinkling of spectators stayed on to watch this game. Great to see, and kids still running around the boundary. Young girls down here waiting for an interview, I take it. So Jack Boyle is on strike, set to face his first ball. Pace this time. Bowling right arm over short. Cut back with a point, and that's racing away, but well fielded. And 2 runs to Boyle. Both batsmen now off the mark. Ben Stoynoff is the bowler. Coming in now from the golf clubhouse end. Bowling to Boyle. Boyle back for just slightly forward a point, and that's a good shot through to the boundary for 4. Quicker ball. Reasonable bounce, and Jack was just able to lay back on that one and caressed it through to the point boundary. And comes Stoynoff again. Bowling right arm over, that's shortish. It's played to backward a point. Back with the bowler. Gets through at a reasonable clip. The Hawke's Bay representative. Boyle playing down into the gully region. No run. Several Hawke's Bay players on show out here today. Both Angus Shaw and Jack Boyle represent Hawke's Bay, with Angus captaining the side. Played over 100 games now for Hawke's Bay. More than any other player in Hawke's Bay's cricketing history. Just out to the player at backward point. No run. Number of Hawke's Bay players in the Taradale side as well. And comes Stoynoff again, bowling right arm over. That's short down, sort of through the gully region for 1 run. End of the second over. Central Hawke's Bay are 11 without loss. Just a gentle breeze. High overcast cloud now, no real rain threatening. Far better than it's been for the last 2 or 3 hours. Looks like we have a change of bowler at the eastern end of the ground. 1 over of spin, and now we've gone to medium pace. Not sure who this is at the moment. Comes right arm over. Bowling to Boyle. Looking reasonably comfortable, just playing it down into the gully region. This is Gange bowling. There's a short single taken, well run. Just played into that gully region again. Yes, Charlie Gange is the new bowler. Gange coming in again. Well pitched up. Just pushed out into short mid-on. No run. They started playing cricket here in the mid-1960s, 63, 64. The Country Districts Club moved over from Tikakino and started playing cricket on this ground. And for many years there was an annual sports event here on New Year's Day, beginning way back in the early 1920s, I think the sports club was founded. And Country Districts come along and started the club here in 1965. There's a big shot from Shaw, hit over wideish mid-on, 4 runs. They'll be trying to put pressure on the Taradale bowlers early, take any advantage away from Taradale. At the same time, not wanting to lose early wickets. Gange again. There's a big shot from Shaw over mid-off, down to the boundary for 4. That's good positive cricket. Shaw moves on to 12. And Central Hawke's Bay are now 20 without loss after 3 overs. Good positive start. So the sports club included horse jumping for many years, right up until the late 60s, maybe early 70s. There was dog trials, athletics. Murray Halberg ran here in his earlier years before he had really made a name for himself. Murray passed away just in the last few days. Another athletic icon passing on. That one foolish, all close there. Quick run single. Direct hit might have had Shaw in trouble. Ball back with Stoynoff, bowling from the golf club end of the Forest Gate domain. That's that one fired in. Shaw onto the back foot and hammered out to deep mid-off. Change the field. Moving fine leg back onto the boundary. Stoynoff back at his mark. About to come in now, bowling right arm over. That's a wide, that'll be a saw Shaw charging and threw it in short and it went way over his head. More field changes, bringing fine leg up. See what's going to happen this time. Right arm over. There's a big shot that's gone high in the air. Who's under that? It's gone. Oh, that's over the boundary for 6. That's well over the boundary. Well, not well over the boundary. Tapped over the boundary, but it was always falling backwards and always going to be 6 runs. A big shot from Shaw, high in the air. Storing off do this time. And he comes. Shaw plays down on that one out into the deep cover region and 1 run. Central Hawke's Bay, Waipawa Butchie, Premiers 29 without loss in the 4th over. More field changes. Central batsman asking the question of the Taradale bowlers. Not letting them settle, that's for sure at this stage. They need a wicket. Still enough. Right arm over. And that one beats Boyle. Quicker delivery. Not really getting up. Just a little bit gloomier here at the moment. Stoynoff turns it as Mark comes in now, bowling right arm over. Tries that one. That's well fielded in the backward point gully region. It was well fielded. That had 4 runs written on it. 4 overs completed. CHB Cricket Club 29 without loss. Wide ball. Hewitson bowling again. That one's hammered down to mid-off. A well-run single. So they're mixing the bowling up a bit from the eastern end. Pace, spin. There's a good shot off the back foot, forward a point, 4 runs. Beautiful shot from Boyle. Seemed to have all the time in the world. Going back to that 6 of Angus Shaw's Seemed to get well under it and looked as though it was going to fall inside the boundary, but certainly carried the distance, and that's a big hit from the wickets on the other side of the square. So that's the longest boundary on the ground at the moment. It's a good shot. 2 runs there. If they run hard, easily taken. Left alone by Boyle that time outside the off stump. Hewitson turns at his mark now, comes in. There's a good shot down through the gully region. 2 easy runs. And runs coming quite easily at the moment. Taradale badly need a wicket to check the central side. Hewitson back at his mark. That's short and he's onto the back foot and missing. Through to the keeper, no run. So after 5 overs, Centre are running at 8 and over, which is a very good run rate at this stage. We're viewing this game from the clubhouse side of the field, looking across to Taylor's Road.
Taradale's average run rate, do you know?
What's that?
Taradale's average run rate.
I'll tell you that. I'll find that out at the end of the over. There's a good shot through mid-on for 1 run. Nice shot, just stroked fluently. Jack Ball on strike. Nahal Shalar bowling now, also Hawke's Bay player. There's a single of misfield out there. Can't complain about the outfield. Beautiful condition for fielding. There's a shot down through fine leg that could well run all the way, and it has indeed. And it's a boundary to Shaw. He moves on to 25. 25 off 16. Jack Ball has 18 off 18. Powered that one through mid-off, misfield. But only the 1 run. Shalar and very close. Swing and a miss. Foot well grounded, fortunately. Hewitson again from the eastern end of the ground.
Run up, it could be down at the general store.
Yeah. Comes right arm over, throws it in. It's pulled away to cow corner. And that's 4 runs. Shaw goes on to 30. And Taradale Cricket Club ran at 6 and over in their innings, scoring 120 for 6. So obviously some tight bowling by that central Hawke's Bay side. Central running at 8 and over, and that could increase. Shaw moves on to 34 off 19. And we have sun for the first time. Beautiful evening now with that sun peeping through the cloud. Hewitt's again, there's a hit out and towards wider mid wicket. Bit of a slog, I'd call that one. Boyle now on strike. Gange just guided down through the gully region. Is 2 runs well taken. Good running by the central team. Boyle and Shaw. And the total moves on to 58 without loss. Gange into Boyle. Oh, just turned around down leg side and he's clipped that down for a well run easy 2. Just helped the ball on its way down the leg side. Central's run rate getting up to around that 10 and over now. Comes Gange again, bowling. Down the leg side again, just a bit of bat pad, and that one played out on the leg side and 1 run. Boyle on 23, Shaw on 35, 61 without loss for Central after 7 overs. As I say, the sun's streaming through now. Beautiful evening here at the FGD at Ongaonga. Shadows casting across the ground. Flags gently flying in the breeze. Just a beautiful setting. Unfortunate it was a little bit damp for the juniors earlier on, but at the same time they had a great time, and a lot of them have stayed on to watch this game. Push forward there, forward a point, quickly taken single. Shaw on strike. Shillar the bowler. That's driven through mid-on for 1 run. and they're just ticking that scoreboard over. Doesn't appear to be any demons in the track. Leaning forward on that one, striking it out to mid-off. Pretty well fielded, it's come in, and we're going to pick up an overthrow here. Not really bouncing how the keeper would like that one. That's another run against the bowler's name, which he won't be happy about. Shalar into Boyle, Boyle onto the back foot and punches it out into the covers. 1 run. Shalar in again, driven down to mid-on. Probably sort of slightly wider mid-on, 1 run. One ball left in the over. Shalar floats that one up and Boyle just pushes forward on, leans forward on that one. End of the over. Shaw's on 37, Boyle on 27, they're 67 without loss after 8. Central will be very happy with our position with this game at the moment. All wickets in hand. Gange continue with the bowling. And he comes now, bowling right arm over. Ooh, a swing and a miss from Shaw. It's to be wide of the off stump. Could well have feathered that through to the keeper. Gange into Shaw down the leg side. Must have got something on there. Not as much as he would have liked. Back with Gange now, coming in. Bowled. There's a shot down. And there's a great catch taken. Right down at wide mid-on. Beautifully taken. Just shows you how confident these fielders are on this outfield. He was confident enough to dive forward knowing that he wasn't going to hurt himself. But that's been a good innings by Angus Shaw. He 37 off 24 at a strike rate of 154.17. Well batted. So that's 68 for 1 after 8.2 overs. Badly needed wicket for Taradale there. Not too sure who's coming in at 3 for Central. You missed him walking out. Oh, it's Clarkson. Big Josh Clarkson just turns this one onto the leg side, square of the wicket, and gets off the mark. It's great to have Josh making himself available when he's not, or when CD are not playing, or he's not required for CD. He's always put his hand up to come back and play for the club. This one just pushed out to mid-on by Boyle. No run. Josh scored a fine 100 here just not long ago. I think his last innings on this ground was a beautiful 100, and his first 100 for the club. That one straight out to mid-off. Well fielded, no run. Shea Bentley's the new bowler, and he made the breakthrough. Josh just helped that one on its way down the leg side, and that's raced away to the boundary for 4. And that's just what he's capable of. Anything loose, and watch out. The sight screens at both ends of the ground are a real asset to the club. I think they're the only sight screens in the competition. So Central move along to 73 for 1 off 9 overs. So they're maintaining that 8 runs an over. Just guided down. This sort of short third man. I suppose you'd call that. Don't know what this is, but that was just floated up by Shalar. Trying to entice the batsman down the crease. Down the wicket. Oh, that stroked beautifully down the ground to mid-off. 1 run to Clarkson. Shalar, that was a quicker ball. Didn't know much about that. Didn't really know where it had gone. And they run 3 for the single. Clarkson on 3, Boyle on 33. Right arm over. He's edged that one. Driving. Shalar again. Bowls well behind the popping crease this time. Clarkson just onto the back foot and pushes it out forward a point. 1 run. Sun's still shining here at the Forest Gate Domain. Beautiful evening. Who would have thought it 2 hours ago that we'd be sitting here in sunshine? Clarkson on strike. Oh, he's guided that beautifully. Just clips it down to deep third man, 1 run. Shadow's starting to stretch out onto the oval. 7:15 in the evening here. Boyle just playing forward to that one. There haven't been too many dot balls. If the match were to finish now, Central would win well on the Duckworth-Lewis system. There's a big shot. That's gone all the way. 6 runs to Boyle. And he races on to 39. Jack does a lot of work down here, or has done a lot of work since he arrived to join the club. Has done a lot of work on the wicket, and on the few occasions he has played here, it's always been in his mind as to how well the wicket might play. But he's enjoying it out there at the moment. So it's going to be Shea Bentley coming into bowl, right arm over. There's a good shot. Through the covers for 4. Beautiful Central Hawke's Bay evening at the moment. What better place to be than down at the Forest Gate Domain watching a game of T20. Right arm over, bowls through the covers, and it's going to be cut off just inside the boundary. They're going for 2. Well run. Boyle moves along to 43. He's now 43 off 35. Another shot out into the covers. They're pushing for 2 again. He's going to have to run. Oh, well run. Boyle moves on to 45. End of the over. End of the over. Central Hawke's Bay 93 for 1. Requiring only 28 more runs for victory. Taradale desperately need wickets if they are to have any chance. Some good batting to come in the central lineup as well. And Taradale will be aware of that. Clarkson's on strike. One, two, three, 4 men on the boundary, on the 3 on the onside, 1 on the off. Clarkson driving back along the pitch. No run. So that right arm goes up for a caught behind, but only the bowler interested. Luke Wright bowling. Clarkson just pushes out eerily to the wide cover region. 1 run. Luke Wright's known for his vocal actions out on the paddock. Plenty of noise from Luke. Bowling way behind the popping crease. I don't know what the plan is there, but Boyle just pushes down to deep mid-off for a single. Change in the field again. Here comes right bowling, one step and bowls, pushed out into the covers, 1 run. So Boyle moves on to 48. Clarkson on 7, 96 for 1 off 12 overs. Certainly the crowd stayed on, which is really pleasing to see and good for the club, good for cricket in general in Central Hawke's Bay. The barbecue's being prepared over there by the girls, and Cole's there too. I better not call him a girl, and the coach is over there as well. He could well come along and be comments man. So we have Shay Bentley now at the eastern end of the ground to commence the 13th over. Coming in off his long run up, bowls right arm over to Clarkson. Clarkson lets that one go down the offside and it's a wide. Without wanting to spoil it for Jack, he requires 2 runs for his 50. It'd be great to see that. That cue would be great for his confidence on this park. In comes, oh sorry, it's Stoynoff bowling. That one goes through. Play and a miss, I think. Sort of see the body language of the Taradale players in the field now, sort of almost confined to the fact that they're not going to win this one. Although cricket is a funny game. I didn't know much about that one, and that was sort of looked like a bit of a, not a leg glance, but an inside edge down to fine leg for 1. Puts Boyle back on strike, Boyle on 48. Stoynoff bowls. Don't know what sort of shot that was, but that's 2 runs and that's Boyle's 50. Well batted, Jack. He'll be very pleased about that to get his first 50 on the Forest Gate domain. He'll be delighted. So I don't think he'll have any complaints about the work he's put into the wicket. Not sure what's going on there, but just played that one into the ground, through to the keeper. So 20 runs now required for victory. .2 overs to go. Comes Stoynoff, right arm over. There's a big hit from Boyle out into the wide mid-wicket region. 1 run. anything could happen here with Clarkson now, knowing that victory's in sight. He may well free his arms and try and finish in a flurry. Bearing in mind Stoyknife's bowling, he just guides that one out. Very well performed bowler is Stoyknife. So end of the 13th over, Central 102 for 1. First time in a while where players are having to umpire one end. Luke Wright to bowl again. Very short run up. Driven into the cover region, 1 run. Wright bowls, driven down the ground, just for a single, easy taken single. Boyle goes on to 52 off 42. Clarkson's 9 off 14. They'll play in a miss outside the off stump. Right, bowling from way behind the popping crease again, and that's off the back foot, cracked out behind point for 2. Right, coming in again, this time off a bit of a run up, bowls up on the popping crease, bowls a wide ball. Score moves on to 107. This one punched out into the forward point cover region. 1 run. Right, coming in again. Forward defensive. Always plenty of noise coming from Luke. End of the over, 14 overs gone, 108 for 1.
How many to win?
13 to win. Yeah. And my battery's going to go flat in a minute. Got 5% left. It'll be Stoyknife to bowl. No, I think, no, it's not Stoyknife. They haven't changed the bowlers on the Quick HQ. Right arm over, cracked out towards point, no run. Through the covers, 1 run. It's Nahal Shalar bowling from the eastern end of the ground now, these swapped ends. through the covers. Fielded inside the boundary. Clarkson 10 off 16. That's very Josh-like. Usually likes to push it along a bit more than that, but he'll realise that Boyle's at the other end. He's in. That's not a bad ball. Beating all ends up. Boyle pushing forward. Through to the keeper. It's a wide ball. Boyle just lets that one go through, knowing it's wide. Now require 11 runs to win. We plays and misses. Shalar bowling well. Back to his mark now. Comes in past the umpire. Bowling right arm over. Driven. Down the ground. Could be 2 easy runs there. Eight runs now, Central require, into the 15th over. So you can see by this, 5 overs to go, the wicket probably has played okay considering the conditions. A little bit of variable bounce, but nothing too bad. Change of bowler again. Bowling from the golf club end of the ground. And bowling right arm over. Digs that one in. There's a well run single. Seven runs now required. It's been well batted by the central side. No chances. Storing off in again. That one through, leaves it, lets it go. No ball. So it's a free hit. Boyle's on strike. What will he do with this? It goes high in the air. It falls well short of, I think it's right out there, and either lost it or gave up early. Doing off again, bowling right arm over, slammed it in. Got under that one's not going to carry either, it falls safely. They just go through for the one. 4 to win. Be appropriate for Boyle to finish it with a boundary. Pushes forward at that one, no run. Played down the ground, slight misfield. Opted not to take the run. Central 4 runs away from victory. Well earned, they bowled well, now they've batted really well. Clarkson on strike. Josh being very sedate, 12 off 18. Jack Boyle, 59 off 55. For a strike rate of 107. I think this is right, is it? Bowling. Yeah. They're right. The usual antics. Could have been a bit of bat in there, I think. 3 runs for victory. Bowls, cuts backward a point, no run. Very noisy out there when Wright's bowling, or when he's out on the park, full stop. Oh, that Beaton, he's not bowling too bad. Plenty of banter from him. Bowling from way back behind the... Played down to deep mid off, 1 run. 2 runs for victory. The weather just becoming a little bit gloomy again here now. When it's late in the evening. 20 minutes to 8. No floodlights here, of course, at the Boris Gate Domain. Not yet, anyway. Just on the back foot and clips it out into gully. 1 run. The scores are level. So Central are cruising to a well-deserved victory. Chalk up another one on their home ground. And there it is. Central have won a very well-deserved victory here. 121 for 1 in 17 overs. Excellent effort. So the end of the game here at Forest Gate Domain. It's been a great afternoon in cricket, firstly with the juniors playing at about 4 o'clock, 2 teams out there playing. Then the rain came in and it looked as though we weren't going to get any cricket at all. Then we had a very good prize giving for the junior cricketers and a cap presentation for those that go into cricket camp. Followed up by this very good victory here by the Prem side. Hey Jack, how does that feel to get your first 50 on the Forest Gate Domain?
Yeah, pretty good. It's that's probably a bit longer than I was hoping, but coming in December. But yeah, nice to I suppose contribute to a good team win today. So yeah.
Yeah, great. You would have really enjoyed that chanceless innings, and it got that demon out of your head probably where you were concerned about how the wicket might play.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I think obviously new role here is playing a part with the ground, so I've probably been more worried about that than my own performance. So it's nice to get a few on a pitch that I can help prepare. Yeah.
And hey, the track didn't play too badly considering the weather we've had in the lead up to preparing it.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was pretty good. I think like with the rainfall that kind of happened consistently in the parts of the game, it just meant that it skidded through quite nicely and probably made it quite nice to bat. And then when it dried up a bit, it actually became a bit stoppier, I guess. But yeah, all in all, pretty happy with the way the wicket played, and yeah, it was good that we got a win on it.
Oh, that's for sure. Now I missed most of the Taradale innings. I was tied up with the junior cricketers. Our bowlers must have bowled pretty well.
Yeah, I thought so. I think like when you've got a really short side like that, it's obviously a challenge for the guys bowling to the right hander or left hander hitting into that short boundary. So I think we managed that pretty well all in all, and the fielders backed it up and to reduce them to 120 on that wicket and on this ground. It was a pretty good effort, so we did really well there.
Yeah. Hey, no, look, Jack, thanks very much for that. I know you want to get with the boys and celebrate and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Sure.
Good on you.
Cheers.
And just in the last 5 minutes, it's just closed in and,
Yeah,
the light's gone, hasn't
Yeah.
it? You wouldn't want to be playing for another half an hour, really, three quarters. So
We had that sun.
yeah, great for Central Hawke's Bay cricket though, just
Yeah.
to see this wave of momentum behind this
Yes,
wonderful
yes.
game we love, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
Sure.
what a great knock by Jack.
Oh, yeah. And he has, I just talked, because he's looking after the pitch out here, and he's come down each game. He's been worried about how it's going to play, and
It reflects
it's
on
been
you
psychological.
as the groundkeeper, as the wicket.
Yeah.
Being prepared and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I've been meaning to ask you, my dad told me a story that you went on a bus trip playing rugby out to...
Ongaonga?
Yeah, and the bus went on the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair dinkum.
Yeah, shit, yeah. We
What
had
a
to wait
story.
until Cassidy's breakdown, or
Yeah.
someone came from town to...
The boys wanted to bolt, and I think Dad said, well, hang on, if
Yeah,
you get out that
yeah,
side, we're going to end down
Yeah.
50 metres.
Yeah.
We've got to get out that way,
Yeah,
because you're
that's
able
right.
to get off at
That's
the
right.
other side, weren't you?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
If that was because the driver went too close to the
Yeah,
edge,
well,
obviously.
you know what those roads were like out there then, because that would have been in the 70s. Yeah.
He couldn't remember whether you won the game or not. He thinks you probably
It was
did.
hard work down playing Pongaroa at Pongaroa.
On their home
All
track.
those hard,
Yep.
tough buggers.
Yeah, and it would have been raining probably, but you know,
Yeah.
June, middle of June,
Yeah.
howling southerly.
Yeah, and there's bulrushes in the bloody 22. Yeah, I'll never forget that trip.
So, Dad,
Oh,
your granddad,
Yeah.
and Dennis went and played rugby
Yeah.
down in Pongaroa. Dad was the captain that day. So was it a central team, was it?
it was a central team.
Yeah, a rep team, so they went
Yeah.
down there and played. And they were driving, the roads were a lot narrower and not as well produced as what they are now.
Yeah.
And the bus went on the edge. Now there's a
Yeah.
great movie by, I don't know who actually made it, but it stars Michael Caine, and it's called The Italian Job. And they've got the back of the bus over the edge of a cliff with all the gold, and they want to grab the gold, and they go to grab the gold, and the bus tips. Well, these guys were a bit like that, except there was no gold.
There was lots of beer.
There was lots of beer. And so what they did was they were going to get off the door at the front next to the driver, but if they did, it would have tipped over that way. So
Yeah.
Dad got them out the back and
Yeah, we had to get out.
yeah,
And we had this.
hunker down somewhere
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
walk to get a phone, and because no
Yeah.
cell phones or anything like that.
No cell phones.
Lucky to have telephones. In fact, they had
Yeah.
homing pigeons. In fact, even then they didn't have homing pigeons, they had smoke signals. Yeah, it was incredible. When was this? Oh, Dennis,
Yeah, I reckon about 74.
unreal.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
then
you remember it clear
oh,
as a bell.
very clearly, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is gold, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love that
very
stuff.
clearly. And I'm sure it was Cassidy's breakdown that had to come in.
Did they leave it there the night or come the next day maybe? I don't know.
No, I reckon we got it out.
Yeah.
I don't remember coming home on any other transport.
Because Cassidy's back in those days, they had those surplus vehicles from the war. They had a GMC with
Oh.
the big hook on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And it might have been something
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
even,
yeah,
which was
yeah.
6-wheel drive, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a long way out there.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it was Ted Cleary was the driver, I think, from memory.
I'll mention that
Yeah,
name to Dad.
yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Den. I've been meaning to ask you that.
Yeah.
I even had it written down on a
was
piece
his
of paper.
bus anyway, whether it might
Was
have
it?
been Tony Kiddo used to drive it as well.
Oh, did he? That would have been fun.
Yeah, well, yeah,
My goodness.
yeah.
Ah,
All those bus trips were, you didn't expect that sort of thing.
no.
But yeah, you're right, that she was teetering.